So this past Monday night on Raw, Jelly Roll beat Kit Wilson clean in the middle of the ring. The hell? Just roll the intro. Welcome back to this Friday episode of Wrestle Stop. My name is Joe. This is the Easter Bunny, Jeff.
Easter Beagle, thank you very much.
The Easter Beagle. I'm not going to ask Jeff. Let's just get into it.
First topic, alrighty then. So the last couple Monday Night Raws, CM Punk and Roman Reigns have been going back and forth.
They have, yes.
CM Punk's biggest complaint, argument, call out on Roman Reigns has been that he can't do it alone. That he needs the bloodline, that he's never been able to succeed on his own. But yet, Roman Reigns has come down to the ring a few times, and he's asked the bloodline to leave. Told him flat out, get out of my ring. This doesn't concern you. Yet Punk keeps involving the Usos, specifically Jimmy and Jay. Is Punk doing this because he knows he can't beat Roman, and he wants an excuse that, hey, the Usos cheated. You had a group. You can't beat me alone. You needed outside interference.
Maybe. I can't look at you. Maybe. We've talked about egos before when we were talking about like Brock Lesnar and stuff like that. And I think CM Punk has that same ego. I'm not sure if his storyline brain is thinking, oh, I can't beat him. I'm thinking more this is a way for them to reintroduce the bloodline to the WWE universe. I don't know. There's definitely going to be some type of interference. I just can't look at you. I'm trying to like see you in my peripheral vision, and I just can't do it. There's going to be some kind of interference. Probably there's going to be some type of bloodline interference in that match. Is it going to lead to a Roman victory? Probably.
You think so?
Yeah,
I can see it going the other way. I can see it costing Roman the match, and they build some sort of rivalry between Jay and Roman in particular. They've been building and hinting at the last 2-3 years now. But
wouldn't that kind of defeat the purpose of reintroducing the bloodline?
Well, yeah, I want them to reintroduce the bloodline and make it stronger than ever. But where do I think it's going? I don't know what long-term plans. I guess they still have a Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins match down the line if they can both stay healthy long enough. But, going back to the CM Punk angle, I didn't see the highlight of CM Punk. I started watching wrestling 4 or 5 years ago again. He wasn't around. He came back. So I missed the heyday of CM Punk. I don't see why people like him. I only know old CM Punk. So yeah, I'm happy with this angle. I'm happy with, CM Punk's afraid. He can't win. He's not good enough. He's not the specimen that Roman Reigns is. 2 weeks ago on Raw when Roman Reigns put CM Punk through the table. He threw him through the table. That was beast mode. This week on Raw, when CM Punk put Roman through the table, he struggled to get him up. He kind of set him on the table, and the table fell on its own. But yes, Roman Reigns is 6'5", 6'6".
He's a big boy, yeah.
CM Punk is built like me, just with 2 arms. But
and Roman Reigns is built like me.
Yeah, there you go. He's a beast. But no, I
has muscle.
I laugh at this because it fits my image of CM Punk. I don't think that's where it's going.
CM Punk?
I don't think that's where it's going. But I like to think that. Now, that'll be the excuse I use if and when CM Punk wins or loses or whatever. But no, I like you, and we talked about on last week's episodes, I want to see the bloodline reunited stronger than ever. I really think that fits a modern narrative. So
yeah, I think the group of the bloodline is stronger now. I think all the players that were in the bloodline before have all been elevated now. Except maybe Sami Zayn. He took a little bit of a step back, but he was never really part of the bloodline. He was the honorary Uso.
Yeah, he's not feeling that Uso anymore.
Yeah, he's not feeling Uso anymore. But I think all the other players have leveled up. Even Big Jim has leveled up over the past few weeks. Yeah. He's been great on the mic.
I really like the new energized version of Jimmy and Jay. They're back to their stop. They don't yeet anymore. They came out to new music.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. When we went back to our WWE ruining wrestlers brands,
getting rid of the yeet music, yeet
music was huge for them. Unless
they're going to do it,
trying to change them heel.
Yep. Or it's a tag team music, and they're going to save the other music for Jimmy, for Jay in his singles matches. So we'll see where they go forward with this.
Yeah, but it's just weird that they changed the music again, because that was another time, and we'll move on. But that was it, especially because I started the timer late.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this for like 6 minutes now. But when they came out and the music hit, at first it took me a second to realize what was happening.
It's a play on the same music.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it did keep going like Uso, Uso, which once my brain realized what it was saying, I knew, but it was just different. So it took me a second to realize what was actually happening. Move on, Jeff.
Alrighty, well, looking back the last SmackDown, man, there were a couple match outcomes that really had me confused. You know, Jelly Roll beat Kit Wilson clean, and Julia beat Tiffany clean going into their match at WrestleMania. Yes, Kiana James distracted Tiffany as she was going up the ropes, but she didn't touch her. She didn't interfere with her. But Julia got a clean win over Tiffy going into WrestleMania, and Jelly Roll got a clean win over Kit Wilson. As you mentioned in the opening, that's a singer who was wrestling his first solo match in WWE against Kit Wilson, who, while maybe not the guy with the biggest push, but he's an established wrestler. He's been around for years.
Yep.
Thoughts? I know you got thoughts.
I've always got thoughts, Jeff. My brain is working 120% of the day.
There you go.
5% of the day isn't working that much. But yeah, first off, Julia beating Tiffany makes perfect sense to me.
As a big Julia stan.
Julia should be undefeated. She should never lose a match going forward.
I just think at this point, building their WrestleMania rivalry, that Kiana James should have interfered more in the match. Maybe hit her while she was climbing the ropes. There should have been more distraction or something, building up that rivalry going into WrestleMania.
I agree. I agree. I'm just joking about the other stuff. Having Tiffany Stratton, who just came back, who was a former champion, they're trying to push her, and she loses mostly clean to Julia, was kind of a weird call. I could see Julia winning by, like you said,
let her win.
Let her win. Kiana James, which maybe that's her new name, can interfere or something, hit her with, I don't know, Logan Paul's brass knuckles or something, and knock out Tiffany Stratton, and then makes more sense.
Yeah.
But to have it kind of a clean pin doesn't make sense. But more importantly,
much more importantly,
to me, probably to the Easter Bunny as well.
Yes.
Jelly Roll is getting a
Jelly Beans.
Oh, okay. There you go. Is getting a ton of screen time. Yeah.
He's in the Cody Randy rivalry.
Yeah, he's in everything. How is he feuding with Kit Wilson and then shows up for the Cody Randy?
He's toxic.
And he's everywhere. This guy's everywhere. I get that he's a star. I like 2 of his songs, I think. But you have guys like LA Knight and
Gunther hasn't been on TV in 3 weeks before this week. Yeah.
And Jelly Roll's getting an entire episode.
Multiple episodes.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think, I've seen people complaining about how WrestleMania has now become like celebrity mania and stuff like that. And I get you got to bring celebrities out. You want it to feel like the Super Bowl.
You go back to WrestleMania 1 and 2, they had Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper were involved. So that's been a part of it. But this early, like this, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and just to hog up all that time, all the time on like a main show, like a Raw or a SmackDown.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
One quick defense, Danhausen did curse Kit Wilson earlier in the night. But to tie the story together, it should not have been a clean win. Kit Wilson should have slipped and hit his head on the pole or something goofy should have happened. They should have played into the curse angle.
Yeah, played into the curse of Danhausen, because then that could even set up like a Kit Wilson Danhausen match, which would make more sense to me. But
so speaking of that, we're going to talk about some of these inconsistent stories we've picked up on wrestling the last couple weeks. So I mean, there's that angle with Danhausen cursing Kit Wilson, and nothing really coming of it other than
don't forget
losing.
He's also cursed The Miz.
Yeah,
he's cursed.
Those other matches, they played into the match, though. Other awkward things happened in the matches.
Yeah.
He cursed Dom, and Dom lost. He cursed
But
ISO Speed.
Did Dom lose because he slipped and hit his head?
I don't remember the exact outcome.
No,
but
he just lost.
I thought there was something. Finn Balor came out.
Finn Balor didn't want to cheat or whatever. But
there's been other inconsistent storylines. So Io Sky and Rhea Ripley were tag team champions for quite a while, and Io's back on Raw by herself, feuding with Raquel Rodriguez, and Rhea's on SmackDown, getting the last 2 weeks getting taken down by Jade Cargill's new faction. The three of them.
Sorry,
if they were such a close tag team, why did they separate all of a sudden? There was no fight. There was no breakup. They just lost the titles. And now all of a sudden, why is Io not there to back Rhea up on SmackDown? It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. I think once they lost their tag team titles, I think that was WWE's way of saying, okay, they're no longer a tag team anymore. They're kind of going to do their own thing, which I guess is fine because Rhea Ripley has a path to WrestleMania, right? She's going up against Jade Cargill. Io Sky, though, has nothing. And she's a star. I like Io Sky other than her dumb pointing thing. I hate that more than anything. I would rather see Jelly Roll on a full episode than Io Sky pointing at herself. I can't stand that. But regardless of that, she's a great wrestler.
Quite possibly the best wrestler in the world right now, according to Michael Cole.
Oh, Michael Cole thinks everybody's the greatest wrestler in the world. I know he's a legend. I know he's great at what he does, but he thinks everybody's the greatest wrestler in the world. None of it makes sense. WWE tends to, they'll start building a storyline and then they'll either not finish it and it'll just go away. I mean, what about who's Randy talking to? Who was the Raw GM? Adam Pearce.
Yeah. Who was he
talking to on the phone?
Yeah.
Who attacked Solo Sikoa? Not Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu. All those storylines have just disappeared.
Where's Paul Heyman with the Vision? Why is LA Knight helping the Usos when at one point he was taking out the Bloodline?
The Usos. It's like storylines are very inconsistent, like you said.
The EO one doesn't make sense right now.
The EO one currently in this situation, it doesn't, right? They lost, and then it's kind of like EO was like, I'm done with you, and just moves on. I mean, it's weird. I don't know.
They could have had her come down and help Rhea Ripley and still lost 3-2. But at least you're completing this. You're completing a story at that point, and you're staying somewhat consistent.
Yep.
So that just kind of jumped out at me. So
yeah, very strange.
Alrighty. So
I go through all our spaces that someone put in here.
Going back to SmackDown last week. Randy's match against Matt Cardona. They hyped that all night, and that was one of the most boring matches I've seen in a while. Randy pretty much just played up on his broken wrist all night. And why did they let Matt Cardona wrestle with a broken wrist when everybody else is not medically cleared to, didn't make sense. But then Randy gave the most lackluster RKO I've ever seen to win the match. Is this them realizing they can't make Randy heel, so they're just going to try and make him boring?
I think a couple things here. My brain, man.
Thank it up, Joe Stradamus. Let's go.
First off, you're trying to make the crowd boo Randy Orton. We mentioned this before. The answer is not have him beat up Matt Cardona. All right? The crowd isn't behind Matt Cardona as much as WWE thinks they are. Especially just watching it on TV. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different live. I don't know. I've never seen him live. I know he's a good wrestler. He has a good look. I know he's married to Chelsea Green,
yes, sir,
who's very popular. But I don't think that is the right way to go. If you want people to boo Randy Orton, you got to have him beat up someone that the crowd likes. Have him beat up Otis.
Yeah, my kids and my wife who watch wrestling with me, not every week, but on a regular basis, and they watch the PLEs, you know what their response was? Who's Matt Cardona?
Yeah. I mean, have him beat up Otis. Yeah. Someone the crowd likes.
Tozawa? Yeah, that would be Otis. Tozawa, yeah.
Just Otis, not Tozawa.
Well, Tozawa, at least Otis is a big guy. Tozawa's 120 pounds soaking wet.
All right, so maybe you could play into some heel heat there.
Yeah.
But what I think my Joe Stradamus had on, maybe WWE has realized they cannot turn Randy Orton into the 2009 Randy Orton, which is what they wanted.
Yeah.
He's hearing the voices. He's super violent, and he's going out to kill because the crowd just cheers him. Their super babyface, Cody, is getting booed.
Yeah.
Even when he was in his thing against Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
He was getting booed.
Most boring segment of Raw.
WrestleMania, maybe you get that double
turn.
flip, right? That double turn where, or maybe not even that, because maybe Randy just continues on the path that he's on because the crowd's going to cheer him regardless.
So going back to
And then
2009,
I'm
Randy.
not done.
Oh, sorry.
Bunny. Maybe then Cody just ends up going full heel at WrestleMania, cheats to keep his title,
Okay.
and hits him with chairs and tables and stuff.
Now
you can continue.
You mentioned 2009 Cody, and I've seen that come up online. That was during my 2009 Randy. I'm sorry. That was during my blackout period. I wasn't watching wrestling at that time. I was
drinking a lot, apparently.
I was going through a lot of personal stuff at that time, and wrestling was low on the priorities. Was that Randy? I mean, I know he was similar to this Randy with being chaotic, but was he a true heel? Did the fans boo him at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fans booed him. He was dirty. He, did his punt kick to people.
I do remember the punt and hearing about it. So he was dirty, but he wasn't getting cheered like a Ric Flair or Stone Cold dirty.
No, he was like the legend killer.
Okay. So kind of like
where
Gunther's
in
at now.
2009.
Yeah, I remember the legend killer hearing about it. I wasn't watching at the time. So, okay. So they were booing him now and they're trying to go back. And
they're trying to get that back. And I think at this point in his career, it's like bringing Stone Cold back and trying to make him a heel.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yes, sir.
Kind of similar to like even John Cena when they tried their flub. And there was a period where people were booing John Cena. So I think it was starting to kind of work.
Were they booing John Cena or were they booing the idea of turning John Cena heel?
Possibly that. But I think heel John Cena, as bad as it was, his entrances were the best John Cena entrances ever. I loved the all black and it just saying John Cena. I loved it. I thought it was great.
The best part of
that was me,
heel John Cena was him pointing out that one little kid in one of the
and
European
him cry.
crowds. Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, I'm going to bring up another topic that we talked about a few weeks ago, but I really think it's I really think it's pertinent to bring up. Match counts, they're low. Wrestlers don't wrestle like they used to. There's not as many house shows.
Yep.
So they don't get to practice. And I don't know what kind of practice they do off camera and not in front of audiences, but every week there's botches.
Tamatonga.
Every week there's matches. Like I saw a clip last night of LA Knight trying to climb the ropes in the Uso match. I don't know if it was before or after. He was kind of celebrating, but he slipped and fell like off the turnbuckle just to climb up. And like, so I did some. You got Joe Stradamus, right? I did some Jeffonomics. I looked into some stats. Yeah. I wanted to see if there's any data out there.
While you do that, I'm going to take a little swig of water here.
Take it to two. I got some facts for you.
In my Wrestle Stop mug.
To back up my argument here. So we have two legends that have retired pretty much in the last couple years or so. The Undertaker and John Cena.
Yep.
How many matches do you think they wrestled completely in their career, over the length of their career?
3,000.
John Cena was right around 2,300.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
and Undertaker was 2,500. So not off.
That's actually less than I thought for Undertaker. Because I remember when I was a little tyke and Undertaker coming out.
So what I've heard online is the two biggest workhorses that the WWE has had the last few years is Dom Mysterio and LA Knight. So I went and looked at Dom Mysterio's young.
Well, Dom Mysterio is also wrestling in AAA.
Yes. He's wrestling across two things. He has about 350 matches to date in his career. In 2025, guess how many matches he wrestled?
Dom?
Yeah. Across WWE and AAA.
37.
He wrestled 50 matches.
Oh, okay.
And I think LA Knight was number one with 56, which is why I brought him up as like a workhorse. So using those numbers for Dominic Mysterio to match the Undertaker's match output, he would have to wrestle for 43 more years at 50 matches a year. He's 29 years old. That would take him to 72.
He could do it.
Dominic Mysterio, 72 years old, wrestling 50 matches a year.
I think, right, there's a lot of positives to that and there's a lot of negatives to that, right? So you have your negatives, obviously, where they're not getting the reps in. They're not getting, used to who they're wrestling and they're being able to build that chemistry. I think the positive, this is these guys' jobs. Kind of like when you go to your job, whatever it is, 9 to 5, and you come home, you get to see your family and stuff like that. These guys don't get that. They do their job and they're on the road 340 days a year or something like that.
Yeah,
they get Christmas off and something like that. So it kind of makes sense because it gives them more time off to see their family, which I'm all for, right? Work-life balance. But I think there needs to be a weird.
They need to find
I know
a way
I just
to
said
practice
work-life
more.
balance,
Yeah.
but there needs to be a work balance, I guess, where
And
they
that-
get these reps in, and they get, especially new guys coming up. They need this stuff.
So there's, we've mentioned the injuries in the past. So not getting these practices and these reps in, it's hurting the in-ring quality, but is it also affecting the wrestler's health? They're just not used to taking the bumps they're taking, or they haven't practiced the moves. So when, wrestling is higher energy and more high flying than it ever was. So are they,
Thundering.
have they not learned how to take these falls? So, but again, it's something I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm going to keep the Jeffonomics up, and I'm going to keep tracking, in things. It's just, I thought that was some interesting stats.
I mean, the proof is how many injuries have been in this last year. I mean, you could build, like you said, I think on
could build
few
a PLE
videos ago,
card.
you could build a whole PLE card with just the injured wrestlers that are out right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna recap the announced WrestleMania matches one more time, and then after that, we're gonna talk about our excitement level on a few of these. So we know we've got the championship matches were announced several weeks ago. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. Recently, they announced Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, Dom Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Last Friday, they announced Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams and AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Those are most of the title matches. Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. We've been predicting for months now. That's going to be an unsanctioned match, so just another term for their no DQs. Recently announced on Monday Night Raw might be one of the best matches of WrestleMania. Penta versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Javon Evans.
John Evans. He's a new guy. You guys haven't met
Versus
him yet.
Rusev in a ladder match. I'm just going to put it out there. One of those names just doesn't belong.
fit. We'll get to that.
Yeah, so they announced Seth Rollins versus Gunther. And then another match we've been predicting pretty much since WrestleMania talk started, the Irresistible Forces versus Bliss and Flair, Bayley, Lyra, Bella Twins, all in a fatal four-way for the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about who's still on the out?
Yeah, I mean, and that was 12 matches, I think, right?
Yeah.
Usually, I think they try to do 8 and 8, or at least 7 and 7, but we're going to assume 8 and 8, just for why not.
I think that's what they had last wrestling, and
Yeah.
I saw something, the highest matches at any one WrestleMania, I think it was 19. So aiming around 16 sounds about right.
So we'll say 16. So that leaves 4 matches available. So who's still on the out, Jeff?
Yeah.
We got LA Knight,
Yep.
who I know we've been hard on them for that, but he is nursing an injury right now. I don't know how that's affecting his matches because it's like a bursa cyst, I think it's called.
Something
it's on his elbow.
And as somebody who has suffered from elbow injuries, you don't want to mess with the
Yeah,
elbow.
I got elbow injuries like crazy. Way worse than Jeff's. Then you got Io Sky. You got Asuka, you got Kairi Sane, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, who just returned, so I can kind of see if she's left off, but she's kind of a bigger name. Carmelo Hayes, which is criminal.
Yeah.
Jeff, that Rusev is in that match and not Carmelo Hayes.
Put Carmelo
Criminal.
Hayes in that ladder match today. They have, the ladder matches are normally 4 or 6. I don't know that I've ever seen a 5. That's an odd number. But
And maybe they're going to add him. Maybe. But even on that same note, Ilya Dragunov would be amazing in that ladder match.
add both of them and cut Rusev.
Yeah. Danhausen doesn't have a match. I don't know how big of a deal that is really, but the guy's got to wrestle eventually. He can't just be the guy who comes out in commercial breaks and shoots T-shirts at people. One that I wanted to add on here was Joe Hendry. I know he's NXT.
He's the champion, but
He's the champion in NXT. He wasn't at the Royal Rumble. I can see him not being on it, but I think it would be cool to see him.
crowd popped last WrestleMania, even though he took the loss to
You
the
know where he's going to
RKO.
show up? The Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Oh, there you go. SmackDown before.
And then the Usos aren't on the card yet. The Vision's not on the card yet. Kofi Kingston's not on the card yet. Grayson Waller, I know they're not super big names, but we were just kind of going through some names that aren't on the card. So then we have we picked 4 extra matches.
To fill out the 16.
To fill out the 16. Are these the best matches? No, because I'm looking at one right now that I don't like.
These are the ones the storylines are building toward.
Yes, we'll go with that. These are the ones storylines are building towards. Do you want to read these? Or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. We got the Visions versus the Uso and some sort of a rematch for the championships. Last night, I keep saying last night, but this week on Raw, I Show Speed accidentally knocked out LA Knight with the brass knucks. So will they have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania? I can see them. They like to do a celebrity match. They're building towards something with Io Sky and Asuka. Kairi Sane either in a corner or maybe somehow involved in the match. And then Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes have been going back and forth. We thought that might be the U.S. title match before Carmelo Hayes lost, but they put on a great match. I wouldn't mind seeing that again or
as
adding
a
them
final time match. I don't want to see it again.
They're too young for retirement.
I'm not saying
matches.
retire, but just they shouldn't wrestle again. This would be like the 33rd time they've wrestled in the last month. They do put on great matches every single time, but I don't want to see it again.
We don't need a best of 7 series like they did. What was that? Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
Yeah,
they did. We don't need that again. Like maybe over the next 7 years they can wrestle 7 times.
They can bring it back later. So. Those are kind of what we had. I hope to God we don't see an LA Knight versus I Show Speed.
So, why don't you give us your top 3 and your bottom 2 or 3 that you're ones you're looking forward to, and then the ones you don't really care enough about, or you hope don't happen based on our predictions.
Well, the number one, which is probably the same as yours, is the Obafemi Brock Lesnar match. I'm pretty excited about that match. I am excited for the Roman Reigns CM Punk match. More for the fact that I do like Roman Reigns. I'm not a huge CM Punk fan. I think he brings something. I do. But I'm more interested in seeing if the Bloodline comes back, and I like the Bloodline. And then whatever match Karrion Kross is in. Matches I can really, I guess LA Knight and I Show Speed will be one if that happens. I'm definitely not looking forward to that. And I am an LA Knight fan. I have his autograph card back here somewhere. Right down here.
It's one of our arguments we've had consistently on the show is whether or not who likes LA Knight. He does. I do not. So.
I'm showing everybody he's with Cameron Grimes. It's a double autograph, but
nice.
LA Knight. Then the other one would be the mess of the Fatal 4-Way women's tag match.
Those matches happen in slow motion.
They happen in slow motion. They're super choreographed. Yes. People miss spots all the time. It's just going to be a disaster. Oh, the other one would be that I'm looking forward to would be the Penta table ladders or just a ladder match.
Yeah.
If they get rid of Rusev and put in actual people who should be in those matches, like Carmelo Hayes or Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. So, on my end, Obafemi versus Brock, obviously should be the top of everybody's thing right now. That's been the biggest rivalry in wrestling the last 3 weeks, or the biggest hype. Young versus old, all kinds of things there, just two powerhouses that hopefully chuck each other around the ring. I'm kind of looking forward to not CM Punk, but Seth Rollins versus Gunther. They're two of my top wrestlers right now. We go back to our wrestling rankings last year, and I think I had them both as A or S tier wrestlers. Mm-hmm. My fear is that they're putting Gunther over right now. So Seth Rollins is my current favorite wrestler. I think he's going to take the L on this one.
I see the vision. Or maybe this is where Braun Breaker comes back. And
I guess if he costs Seth Rollins the match, I'll be a little bit happier with that outcome at that point. And then from there, that ladder match. Those are always exciting. You go way back to the Razor Ramon, I think it was Shawn Michaels ladder match. Last SummerSlam, you had the 6-tag team ladder match. That was crazy. So those ladder match, you put those 4 of those 5 guys are exciting high flyers. I think that's going to be a great match. We'll see what Rusev brings to the table. And on the low end, either, whether it's the LA Knight I Show Speed match, but even if like Vision versus Usos, I think that could be a good match. But if you make that a 6-man tag and you put those guys in there.
Against who, though?
Well,
you put the other tag.
The Visions and LA Knight teamed up again. I'm sorry, Usos and LA Knight versus the Visions and I Show Speed, and at that point, you drag the match down.
Yeah, I got you.
And then
I was thinking add another tag.
As good as those matches have been, I'm going to go a little different. Like I don't want to see Carmelo Dragunov again, unless they throw him into another ladder match or something goofy like that. I don't need to see another one-on-one match with those guys with no title involved.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, people are getting sick of the same stuff, as am I. I just think if they're doing these matches on SmackDown or Raw and they're that good, imagine what they'd be like in front of a hot WrestleMania crowd, hoping it's a hot. I know this is the second year straight in LA or in Las Vegas. So that could be a problem, but I think they can bring it. You would rather see that mess of a fatal 4-way than Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov in front of a WrestleMania crowd.
I went a little different. I didn't want to.
You gotta be different. Just to be different.
It's all good. I didn't want to list the same matches you spoke about.
You're
that one.
Different. Look at you. Oh God. Anyway, do you have anything else to add?
That's it. Just keep checking us out. We're trying to be goofy, have some fun with the show. But we've got our weekly videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. You've got your side quests that come out on what days again?
Side quests are Thursdays and Sundays.
Sundays, you got Joe's Hot Takes on Mondays. He's heating it up in here. And then
getting a lot of hate for those boys.
Some, we've got our ranking, our ranking shorts that come out 3 times a week. We're going to rank our top 10 wrestling moments for the month of April. So just check back, keep an eye on our show. We've got daily content every day.
Yep. After WrestleMania, we're redoing our tier lists, stuff like that. We have some other cool stuff that I have planned that Jeff doesn't even know about yet coming up. And I'll fill you guys in on that as we go. We do have a Discord server coming. It's coming. It's not here yet. I want to have it live probably after WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're building toward our live stream. I forgot to mention that. Clash in Italy. We're going to attempt to do our first live stream. So watch the channel, join us in chat doing it.
You guys can come in, turn your cameras on. We can all chat together, watch Clash in Italy together, which will also be streaming to YouTube on our channel. So be nice. You guy watching this right now, you be nice. And then if it does well, we'll continue to do it. We'll end up streaming again eventually. A lot of sicknesses and family things have hit the last couple weeks, so we haven't been able to stream. But that's it. Like this video if you like the video. If you didn't like the video, let us know why you didn't like the video. If you did like the video, let us know why you liked the video. Subscribe to our channel.
Ding, ding, ding.
We'll see you guys in our next video. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching another episode of Wrestle Stop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.